It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Recently I put Jeremy Clarkson's Hawkstone Lager up against Wrexham Lager. I sort of called it the Ryan Reynolds versus Jeremy Clarkson Lager battle for a bit of fun. And more importantly than that, to work out what's good and what's not in the world. That's what we're sort of here to do, isn't it? Is to work out if something's better than the other thing. And I thought that today we'd stick Hawkstone Lager with this nice gold print with a black label at 4.8% ABV in a 330 milliliter dark brown bottle with a nice Hawkstone cap. I thought I'd pit it against one of Germany's, I wouldn't say finest, but definitely solid, really solid, well-made, well-bought lager. This is Bitburger. Now Bitburger is bought and drank by, I think it's the #1 drank Pilsner in Germany. 4.8% ABV, same ABV as the Hawkstone. 500 milliliter can. So let's just pit it. Let's just see, because I'll be honest with you, the Hawkstone Lager trounced the Wrexham Lager, and I was quite shocked by it. I was kind of thinking, wow, the Wrexham Lager performed quite poorly, but against really good solid German lager, some of the best lagers in the world. Let's see how Hawkstone kind of wins out. Or performs. Right, bottle opener. Bit of smoke on the bottle opener. I have changed my glasses. I used a different style of Kingfisher glass the other day, and the beer didn't sort of sit in the glass very well. It didn't create any kind of head. And to be honest with you, this one's it's not too bad. Yeah, it's not too bad, this one. Much better. Much better. So we got a thin, one finger white head. Lovely carbonation on this one. I swapped the glass up to something nucleated. The little kind of etching in the bottom of the glass. Just to give the beer a little bit more of a look. There's no point in using poor performing glassware with beer. You want your beer to look its best, don't you? So beer in the, yeah, it's a light straw coloured clear lager. Using something very similar for the Bitburger. A super malt glass. Now super malt make sort of malt energy drinks, but they've decided to make a stout, a 7% stout, which they kindly sent to me, and the glass. And I quite like this glass. It looks rather nice, doesn't it, for a beer glass. One finger white head. Again, good levels of carbonation. Lighter sort of golden ale, this one. I suppose putting them up against one another, they're very similar, aren't they? Very similar in colour. Golden amber nectar. So let's do the aroma. Let's get the aroma on the Hawkstone Lager. It's just lovely in a sense that you get a lot of malt, you get a lot of crisp, wafer-like malt aromas coming through, a little bit of sweetness there. You can't smell sweetness, but you know because the malt's there that it's going to be sweet. But there's a certain sort of, again, you can't smell this either, but there's a certain sort of dryness in the aroma, and that's coming from the sort of spicy hops that I'm picking up. It's like stinging nettle aroma. Touch of lemon. Smells good, but interestingly, could be glassware, but the Hawkstone's kept his head better than the Bitburger. But that could be glassware. Aroma. Very similar actually. I'd say this is slightly more sort of drier. You're getting a little bit more of that kind of peppery spiciness, a little bit more stinging nettle coming through. But you are still picking up some sweet malt in here. They both have fantastic aromas. Let's put them to the test then. Hawkstone. Cheers, everyone. Very good. Very, very good. Solid. Slightly biscuity, slightly dry, peppery, spicy, slightly earthy. Slight earthiness coming through in the taste there, but good bitterness on the back end. Bitburger from Germany. Very similar, but I'm gonna say hoppier, much hoppier. I picked up that in the aroma. It is a Pilsner. It is a Pilsner. There's nowhere on Jeremy Clarkson's beer that suggests that it's a Pilsner. The style of beer, Pilsner, is quite bitter. It's a lovely. I love the finish on a really sort of hoppy Pilsner like this. It's just beautiful. It keeps rolling. That bitterness keeps rolling at you. It keeps kind of like producing flavour. That bitterness is coming through. That peppery, spicy sort of traditional German hops. That stinging nettle flavour just keeps coming and coming. It's quite, for me as a beer reviewer and a beer drinker, I like the hops. I do like the hops from the Bitburger Pilsner. It's a different style of drink, I suppose, and I think that the reason that this beer style is more popular in European countries, certainly Czech Republic, Germany, is that they're much more used to drinking bitter beers. They're much more used to drinking bitter, hoppier Pilsners. And I think, unfortunately for the British palate, we've sort of gone down the American route of, we sort of have a sweeter palate here in the UK. We like sweeter things. Personally, I don't. Personally, I much prefer the bitterness from the Bitburger. But I think that's the reason why this beer style is what it is. The reason. Now going back to Hawkstone Lager, it's almost, because I've drank the Bitburger, it's almost like it's got no hops in it at all. I know that's not true because we've had a first taste of the Hawkstone and there's some lovely hop flavours coming through. But it pales in comparison to the bitterness that's coming through with the Bitburger Pilsner. Maybe a suggestion to the lovely, lovely people of Hawkstone, maybe they produce a Pilsner. Maybe they produce a Pilsner for people like me who really like bitter sort of beers. Whether that works for them, I don't know. It's just a suggestion. As I mentioned, it's a really solid lager, this. It really is. I do really like it. It's a great look, great head retention. I'm going to give it, in this instance, against the Bitburger now. I'm still going to give it, I believe I gave it an 8 out of 10 yesterday. And I did it, put it up against the Wrexham Lager. 8 out of 10. You might be watching, I seen yesterday, you might be watching this kind of weeks in the future, whenever I decide to release the video. But 8 out of 10 for the Hawkstone. A good, solid, reliable, on the shelf supermarket beer now. You can pick it up in Tesco and Morrison's, which, I mean, I can imagine myself buying this quite a lot. The downside to Bitburger is that you only ever see it every now and again. I picked these up in Aldi. You only ever see it every now and again in somewhere like Aldi, Lidl, German supermarkets. And it's inconsistent for us drinkers in the UK. We can never seem to find it. But if you can find it, buy it if you like a Pilsner. It's really good. It's a really good Pilsner. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 for Bitburger Pilsner. So on this occasion, it's very close. 8 for the Hawkstone, 9 for the Bitburger. And of course, every person's palate is different. We all have different palates out there. We all like different things in life. So it might be a case of you watching this video thinking, actually, I prefer the sweeter beer anyway. And you might choose to buy the Hawkstone Lager. It's entirely up to you. But thanks for watching. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.